In the world of Dragon Ball Z, one decision can change everything. Imagine a universe where the two greatest Saiyan warriors never separated, a reality where ultimate power came with the ultimate sacrifice. This is the story of what would happen if VEGITO, the perfect fusion of Goku and Vegeta, remained permanent forever, altering the Dragon Ball timeline as we know it. The multiverse trembles at the mere thought. The battle against Majin Buu represented the greatest threat the universe had ever known. A childlike entity with the power to destroy galaxies and the temperament of a cosmic toddler. After absorbing Gohan, Piccolo, Goten, and Trunks, Majin Buu had become an unstoppable force of destruction. The Earth stood on the brink of annihilation. The situation was beyond desperate. Goku had returned from the afterlife with a plan so risky it seemed almost foolish. In his hand he held two small green earrings. The Potara earrings given to him by the Elder Kai, ancient artifacts of the gods themselves, with the power to fuse two warriors into one being. But there was a catch that would change everything. When Elder Kai explained the fusion to Goku, his words were grave and absolute. The Potara fusion is permanent, two beings would become one for eternity, their individual identities would merge into a single consciousness forever. Despite this terrible cost, Goku knew what had to be done. In the face of universal destruction, the sacrifice of two lives to save billions seemed a necessary evil. Yet the weight of such a choice would forever alter the course of history. As Vegeta reluctantly agreed to the fusion, the two rivals became something entirely new. In a flash of blinding light, VEGITO was born. Not simply Goku plus Vegeta, but a warrior with the combined strength, skill, intelligence, and power of both Saiyans multiplied exponentially. His power level was beyond anything the universe had ever witnessed. Inside Buu's body, VEGITO fought with unmatched skill and confidence. The smirk on his face reflected both Vegeta's pride and Goku's battle joy. He was toying with the monster, effortlessly dodging attacks while landing devastating blows. And here is where our timelines diverge. In the world we know, Vegito's fusion unexpectedly dissolved inside Buu's body. The magical environment somehow destabilized the supposedly permanent Potara fusion, separating Goku and Vegeta once again. They would go on to defeat Kid Buu separately, each maintaining their individual lives and families. But what if that never happened? What if the magic of the Potara earrings proved as permanent as Elder Kai had warned? Inside the nightmarish realm of Buu's body, Vegito felt a strange disturbance as the monster's internal magic attempted to separate him. For a brief moment, he could sense Goku and Vegeta struggling to break apart, two souls fighting to return to their former selves. But then something unprecedented occurred. The fusion stabilized. The combined willpower of both Saiyans reinforced their union, making it truly unbreakable. In that moment, both Goku and Vegeta ceased to exist as individuals. Only Vegito remained. A new reality had been born. As Vegito continued his mission to rescue the absorbed fighters, he began to realize the full implications of his permanent existence. He was neither Goku nor Vegeta, yet he held all their memories, feelings, and connections. Chi-Chi and Bulma were both his wives. Gohan, Goten, and Trunks were all his sons. His rivalries, friendships, and responsibilities had doubled, yet his identity had become singular. Who was he now? What would this mean for everyone who had loved either of the two Saiyans individually? While fighting through Buu's body, Vegito's mind raced with these questions. The philosophical weight of his existence pressed upon him, even as he battled the greatest threat to universal existence. He possessed power beyond imagination, but at what cost? As he located the pods containing his friends and family, Vegito made a solemn vow. He would honor both the lives that created him. He would protect what they both held dear. He would be neither Goku nor Vegeta, but something greater than either could have become alone. Little did he know that his permanent existence would soon attract the attention of gods and destroyers across the multiverse. His unprecedented power level would disrupt the cosmic balance in ways not even the Supreme Kai could have predicted. And deep in the recesses of another timeline, a certain god of destruction stirred in his sleep, disturbed by the sudden emergence of a power that rivaled his own. Beerus was awakening years too early. The ripples of Vegito's continued existence were just beginning to spread across reality itself, and nothing in any timeline would ever be the same again. As Vegito continued his mission inside Buu, his mind became a battlefield of its own. Two lifetimes of memories competed for dominance within a single consciousness. Goku's carefree nature and pure heart pulled in one direction while Vegeta's pride and tactical brilliance tugged in another. Their shared love of battle was perhaps the only thing keeping him centered. Every decision triggered an internal debate. Should he approach this fight with Goku's playful confidence or Vegeta's ruthless efficiency? Even now, as he traversed the bizarre landscape of Buu's internal world, Vegito could feel the distinct personas attempting to assert control. I am neither of them yet. I am both of them, he thought as he sliced through another internal defense mechanism. This body, this mind, this power, it belongs to me alone, to VEGITO. In that moment of clarity, a critical understanding formed. Fighting this internal war would only weaken him. The true power of fusion wasn't just the combination of physical strength, but the harmonious merger of two souls. As long as he resisted this truth, he would never reach his full potential. And so VEGITO made his first truly independent choice. Rather than being torn between two identities, he would forge a third. He would honor both his component parts, while becoming something greater than either. He wasn't Goku wearing Vegeta's pride as a mask, nor was he Vegeta channeling Goku's compassion. He was VEGITO, unique, unprecedented, eternal. With this newfound resolution, VEGITO moved with purpose through Buu's body. He quickly located the pods containing his friends and family, Gohan, Piccolo, Goten, Trunks, each one preserved in a state of suspended animation. As he freed them one by one, VEGITO felt strange new emotions surfacing. Looking at Gohan, he felt the fierce paternal pride of Goku alongside Vegeta's grudging respect. Seeing Trunks triggered Vegeta's protective instincts but tempered with Goku's encouraging spirit. These weren't confused or conflicting emotions, but perfectly blended responses reflecting his unique perspective. With the absorbed fighters rescued, VEGITO turned his attention to Buu himself. The monster was weakening, losing the power he had stolen from Gohan and the others, but the creature was far from defeated. As Buu realized what was happening, he began to transform again, his body contorting and shifting until he reverted to his purest, most dangerous form, Kid Buu. The battle that followed was unlike anything the universe had ever witnessed. Kid Buu's chaotic, unpredictable attacks met VEGITO's perfect fusion of Saiyan might. Where Goku might have shown mercy, VEGITO showed calculated restraint. Where Vegeta might have grown frustrated with Buu's regenerative abilities, VEGITO maintained strategic patience. VEGITO unleashed techniques neither Goku nor Vegeta could have performed alone. His final Kamehameha combined Vegeta's final flash with Goku's signature attack, creating a blast that shattered reality itself. His Spirit Sword technique channeled Ki with a precision that left even the Supreme Kai watching from afar in awe. When the dust settled, Kid Buu was no more. Not even a molecule remained to regenerate. The universe's greatest threat had been eliminated not through a desperate team effort, but by the overwhelming might of a single perfect warrior. With Buu defeated, VEGITO gathered his friends and family, using instant transmission to return to Earth. As they materialized on the lookout, Dende and Mr. Popo rushed forward, expressions of joy quickly turning to confusion. "Who are you?" they asked, seeing neither Goku nor Vegeta, but someone both familiar and strange. The explanation that followed was met with disbelief, shock, and finally the dawning horror of understanding. Bulma and Chi-Chi, who had been waiting anxiously for their husbands to return, found themselves facing an impossible situation. The men they loved were gone, replaced by this new being, who claimed to be both, yet neither. "I am still the man who loves you both," VEGITO explained, his voice carrying echoes of both familiar tones. "But I am also someone new." The children approached cautiously. Gohan, the most mature, understood, first his eyes reflecting complex emotions as he realized his father as he knew him was gone forever. Goten and Trunks circled VEGITO with curious uncertainty, asking questions that had no easy answers. "Am I still your son?" Trunks asked. "Always," VEGITO replied, kneeling to meet his eyes. "And Goten is too? You are brothers now in every way that matters." The complex family dynamics would take time to resolve, but a more immediate concern presented itself when the Supreme Kai appeared, his expression grave. "VEGITO, we have a problem," he said, his voice tense. "Your continued existence as a permanent fusion was never meant to happen. The power you now possess, it creates a cosmic imbalance. The hierarchy of the universe is built upon careful division of power among mortals, gods, and other beings. Your emergence has disrupted patterns that have existed since the dawn of creation." "What's happening?" VEGITO asked, sensing the Kai's anxiety. The Supreme Kai looked skyward, his expression darkening. "Your power level rivals that of the gods of destruction. Such energy cannot go unnoticed. You have inadvertently sent ripples across the multiverse, and I fear what might awaken in response." As if summoned by these words, the sky above them darkened. The air grew heavy with an energy VEGITO had never felt before, ancient and devastating. A massive purple cat-like being appeared floating above the lookout, his ears twitching with irritation as he yawned widely. "So this is the anomaly?" Beerus the Destroyer said, his eyes narrowing as he took in VEGITO's form. "How interesting. I wasn't scheduled to wake for another few decades, but your little fusion trick has disturbed my slumber." Behind Beerus stood his attendant Whis, watching VEGITO with analytical curiosity. His staff glowed softly as he measured the fused Saiyan's power. My Lord Whis said, his voice calm but carrying an undertone of surprise. This fighter appears to possess godly ki, yet he is clearly mortal. Most unusual. Beerus descended slowly, circling VEGITO with predatory interest. I sense Cyan, but something more. You intrigue me, Fusion Warrior. Perhaps you might even provide me with a worthy challenge. It's been millennia since anyone has managed to wake me from my nap. The question is, are you strong enough to survive what comes next? The god of destruction raised a single finger, a tiny purple sphere of energy forming at its tip. The casual gesture carried enough destructive force to obliterate the planet. Shall we find out? Beerus smiled. The tension on the lookout was suffocating as VEGITO stared down the god of destruction. Every instinct within him knew this was no ordinary opponent. This was power beyond anything he had ever encountered, even in his fused state. Supreme Kai quickly intervened, stepping between them with evident terror on his face. Lord Beerus, please, the Earth has just survived one catastrophe. Perhaps we could discuss this matter peacefully. Beerus regarded the Kai with mild amusement. Discuss what exactly? That this mortal possesses power that threatens cosmic hierarchy. That his very existence disrupts the balance I am sworn to maintain. VEGITO stepped forward, his stance relaxed but ready. I have no quarrel with you, Destroyer, but I will defend this planet and its people. The confrontation might have escalated further had Whis not tapped his staff gently on the lookout floor. My lord, perhaps we should observe this anomaly before deciding its fate. After all, it is most unusual for a mortal fusion to remain stable, especially one possessing traces of divine energy. Beerus considered this, his ears twitching. Very well, you have 6 months, Fusion Warrior. 6 months to prove your existence doesn't threaten universal balance. 6 months to amuse me. After that, I decide whether this planet and you, along with it, continue to exist. With that ominous declaration, Beerus and Whis vanished, leaving the defenders of Earth in stunned silence. 6 months passed rapidly on Earth as the ripples of VEGITO's permanent existence spread through the lives of everyone connected to either Goku or Vegeta. The living arrangements proved most complicated. After much discussion, Bulma constructed a new compound equidistant between the Sun family home and Capsule Corporation, a place that belonged to neither former life but represented VEGITO's new existence. Both families maintained their separate homes, but the new residence became a neutral ground where this unprecedented family configuration could attempt normalcy. Chi-Chi and Bulma formed an unlikely alliance, their initial animosity giving way to pragmatic cooperation. They were bound together now by circumstance neither woman had ever imagined possible. Their shared husband, a fusion of the men they had married, created a complex emotional tapestry neither had been prepared to navigate. I never thought I'd be sharing Vegeta with anyone, Bulma confessed one evening as they watched VEGITO training with all 3 boys in the gravity chamber Bulma had built. Chi-Chi nodded, and I never imagined Goku would become someone else entirely. Someone with Vegeta's pride and intensity. Yet he loves us both, Bulma mused. Not as Goku loved you or as Vegeta loved me, but as VEGITO loves us. Something entirely new. For the children, the adjustment proved equally challenging. Gohan struggled most with the transformation. At 17, he had spent his life knowing Goku as his father with all his strengths and flaws. Now he faced a new father figure, who retained Goku's memories but viewed them through a perspective altered by Vegeta's influence. Their first serious training session highlighted these differences. VEGITO pushed Gohan harder than Goku ever had with Vegeta's tactical precision, but still maintained Goku's fundamentally encouraging approach. You're holding back, Gohan, VEGITO said, blocking a half-hearted punch. I have both their memories. I know your true potential better than anyone ever could. Gohan hesitated. It's just strange. You look like both of them, but you're neither. You talk like both, but the words are different. VEGITO lowered his guard. I'm still your father, Gohan. Just more than before. Goku always saw your potential. VEGITO always respected your hidden power. I have both perspectives and neither of their limitations. Let me help you reach heights. Neither of them could have shown you alone. For Goten and Trunks, the transition was easier, their youth making them more adaptable. They quickly embraced being brothers, finding joy in their new extended family. VEGITO trained them together, reinforcing their already strong bond. Under his guidance, their power grew astronomically, their potential as half Saiyans flourishing under training that combined Goku's creativity with Vegeta's discipline. The most fascinating development came when the boys attempted fusion themselves. Their Gotenks form achieved power far beyond anything in the original timeline. The boys seemingly inspired by living with the ultimate fusion warrior. Piccolo perhaps adapted best of all. The Namekian had long respected both Goku and Vegeta for different reasons. In VEGITO, he found a warrior who combined their greatest attributes. Their training sessions became legendary. the two frequently disappearing for days to remote locations, returning with new techniques and deeper understanding of combat. He once commented to Krillin, it's as though the universe needed them to be one person. Separate, they were incomplete. Together, they represent something the universe has been waiting for. On a cosmic scale, the ripples spread even further. King Kai reported unusual activity across the universe. Other Kais watched Earth with growing concern. The balance of power between the 12 universes had shifted perceptibly. The Z fighters reorganized around Vegito's leadership. He implemented training regimens that incorporated the best of both his component parts. Under his guidance, Earth's defenders grew stronger than they ever had in the original timeline. Piccolo, Gohan, Krillin, even Ten, and Yamcha all reached new levels of power through Vegito's unique understanding of their capabilities. Unknown to the Earth Supreme Kai had been summoned to a Council of the Gods. The topic of discussion, the anomalous fusion and its implications for universal order. He presents a problem. Belamo, the god of destruction from Universe 11, argued, a mortal with power approaching our own cannot be tolerated. Champa, Beerus' twin brother and destroyer of Universe 6, was more curious than concerned. I say let my brother handle it, though I wouldn't mind meeting this fusion myself. A Saiyan from Universe 7 with such power, it makes me wonder about the Saiyans in my own universe. The Grand Priest listened to all arguments before speaking. This fusion represents a deviation from the expected course of events. We will observe for now, but intervention may become necessary. 5 months into Beerus' deadline, Vegeta was meditating in the upper atmosphere, Earth, a small blue marble beneath him, when he sensed an unfamiliar energy, not hostile like Beerus, but calculating, analytical, and definitely not from Earth. A slender, lavender-skinned humanoid appeared before him. Greetings, Vegito. I am Kaba, a Saiyan from Universe 6. Vegito raised an eyebrow. Saiyan? But you're nothing like... Our evolution took a different path in my universe. Kaba explained. I come as an envoy. My mentor Vato's sister Whis has sent me to extend an invitation. Lord Champa wishes to meet the fusion warrior who has disturbed cosmic slumber. Before Vegito could respond, another presence materialized nearby. This one dark foreboding with an energy signature disturbingly familiar yet alien. A figure wearing dark clothing with Goku's face but cruel eyes. So, this is the legendary Vegito. The newcomer smirked. How fascinating. A permanent Potara fusion. In my timeline, that never occurred. Goku Black at your service, or rather your destruction. Kaba stepped back in alarm. You're not part of Lord Champa's delegation? Who are you? The dark figure laughed. Someone who has traveled across timelines to witness this anomaly for myself. My master will be most interested to learn that in this reality, the Potara fusion never separated. It presents both a problem and an opportunity. Vegito tensed, preparing for combat. And who exactly is your master? The false Goku smiled coldly. A god who sees the true order of things. A god who understands that mortals like you, no matter how powerful, are still an affront to divine order. Zamasu sends his regards. Without warning, Goku Black attacked his power, shockingly similar to Vegito's own. The clash of energies sent shockwaves across Earth's atmosphere, lighting up the sky across continents. On the lookout, Dende fell to his knees. Two powers, both with the energy signature of Goku, but one corrupted, twisted. Somewhere in Universe 10, a Kai named Zamasu looked up from his tea, his expression darkening as he sensed disturbances across the multiverse. A change in the timeline had caught his attention weeks ago, and now conflict between powers that should not exist confirmed his suspicions. Another piece falls into place, he whispered. The arrogance of mortals knows no bounds, not even the boundaries between universes. As Vegito battled his dark counterpart, neither warrior noticed the concerned gaze of Whis watching from a distance. The angel observed the combat with growing concern before disappearing to report to Beerus. My lord, he said upon returning to Beerus' planet, we have a situation more complex than anticipated. The timeline corruption we feared has begun. Zamasu has made his move earlier than expected, and he has targeted the fusion. Beerus yawned, stretching lazily. And why should I care about timeline disturbances? Because my Lord Whis replied, his voice unusually grave, if Zamasu obtains the power of a permanent Potara fusion combined with his immortality, not even you may be able to stop him. For the first time, Beerus looked genuinely concerned. Back on Earth, Vegito and Black fought to a standstill, their powers too evenly matched for either to gain advantage. This is merely the beginning, Black said as they separated, both breathing heavily. My master has plans for all timelines, all realities. Your fusion is merely one variable in a much larger equation. With those cryptic words, he vanished, leaving Vegito wondering what new threat this represented. The confused Kaba remained hovering nearby, clearly uncertain about his role in this unexpected confrontation. Before Vegito could question him further, the sky darkened once more. This time, both Beerus and Champa appeared flanked by their angelic attendants. Interesting, Champa commented, looking Vegito up and down. So this is the fusion that has my brother so concerned? He doesn't look like much to me. Beerus ignored his brother, focusing instead on Vegito. It seems your existence has attracted attention across timelines and universes. This Zamasu and his pet Goku copy present a threat beyond our initial concerns. I don't understand, Vegito said. Who is Zamasu? Why would he target me specifically? Whis stepped forward, his normally cheerful expression serious. Zamasu is a Kai from Universe 10 with dangerous ideas about mortals and divine order. In some timelines, he has moved against the mortal worlds. It appears your permanent fusion has accelerated his plans in this reality. And what does that mean for our agreement? Vegito asked, his eyes on Beerus. The god of destruction smiled thinly. It means, fusion warrior, that you now have a chance to prove your worth. Defeat this threat, and I might reconsider your existence. As if on cue, the sky split open, a tier in reality itself forming above them. Through this rift stepped a figure identical to Goku Black, but wearing the attire of a Supreme Kai. His cold eyes surveyed the assembly with divine contempt. So many gods gathered in one place, Zamasu said, his voice eerily calm. How convenient. The atmosphere above Earth became a nexus of divine energy as Zamasu, Goku Black, Beerus, Champa, and Vegito faced each other in an unprecedented gathering of cosmic power. The fabric of reality itself seemed to strain under the pressure their combined presence created. Goku Black moved to stand beside his counterpart, the two sharing a knowing look before turning to face the assembled gods and warriors. How fitting, Zamasu declared, his voice carrying across the stratosphere. The aberrant fusion that threatens divine order standing alongside the very gods who have failed in their sacred duty. Tell me, Destroyer Beerus, have you grown so complacent that you now protect mortals who reach for godhood? Beerus narrowed his eyes. Your understanding of divine order is flawed. Zamasu, destruction and creation exist in balance. Mortals evolve some faster than others. It is not your place to judge which lives have value. Champa surprisingly nodded in agreement. For once my brother speaks sense. Your actions disrupt the natural order far more than this fusion ever could. Zamasu smiled, a cold expression devoid of warmth. Natural order? When mortals reach beyond their station? When a mere scion achieves power approaching that of gods? You have grown blind to the corruption spreading through creation. I merely seek to purify what has become tainted. Vegito stepped forward. I've heard enough. Whatever cosmic philosophy you're selling, I'm not interested. You threaten my home, my family. That's all I need to know. With speed that surprised even the gods present, Vegito launched himself at Zamasu and Black. The battle that erupted immediately fragmented into multiple fronts. Beerus engaged Zamasu while Vegito clashed with Goku Black. Champa, hovering nearby, seemed unsure whether to join the fray or merely observe. Whis and Vados exchanged concerned glances as the battle escalated rapidly. This conflict has implications beyond this universe. Vados noted, the timeline distortions are growing stronger. My Lord Beerus may require assistance soon. Whis agreed. Zamasu appears to have gained power beyond what should be possible for a Kai. Below on Earth, the Z-Fighters gathered on the lookout, watching the celestial battle unfold beyond the atmosphere. Flashes of light and waves of energy rippled across the sky as powers beyond mortal comprehension clashed. Piccolo turned to Gohan. Your father, Vegito is fighting at a level I never imagined possible even for a fusion. Gohan nodded grimly, and yet I sense he's still not using his full power. There's something he's holding back. Meanwhile, in the upper atmosphere, Vegito found himself evenly matched with Goku Black. The corrupted Saiyan fought with a style identical to Goku's, but infused with a malice and cruelty that Goku would never possess. Fascinating, Black taunted as they exchanged blinding flurries of punches. You possess the combined power of Goku and Vegeta, yet you fight with a style entirely your own. Not quite Goku, not quite Vegeta, but something superior to both. Vegito smirked, a distinctly Vegeta expression, and you're a pale imitation of one half of what I am. No wonder you're struggling to keep up. Enraged Black transformed his hair, shifting to a brilliant rose pink, his power levels spiking dramatically. Super Saiyan Rose, a divine form unavailable to mere mortals. The transformed Black launched a renewed assault, pushing Vegito back for the first time. Though powerful, Vegito's Super Saiyan Blue form was being gradually overwhelmed by the divine energy Black wielded. Nearby, Beerus was discovering that Zamasu possessed abilities beyond those of a normal Supreme Kai. The corrupt deity moved with impossible speed, his attacks imbued with energy that seemed to negate Beerus' own destruction power. Something is wrong, Beerus called out to Whis between attacks. His body, it resists destruction. Immortality Whis replied, his tone grave. He has used the Super Dragon Balls to wish for an immortal body? This revelation sent a chill through all present. An immortal being with the power Zamasu wielded represented a threat beyond anything they had faced before. Vegito, sensing the shift in the battle, pushed away from Black, creating distance. He needed something beyond the power of Blue, something that could counter the divine energy his opponents wielded. In a flash of insight, Vegito realized the solution. Within him existed the knowledge and experience of achieving Super Saiyan God through ritual, but Vegeta too had found a path to divine power through intense training and pride. Perhaps the combination of these approaches could create something new. Closing his eyes, Vegito reached deep within his soul to the place where Goku and Vegeta existed in perfect harmony. There at the core of his being, he found the divine spark that both had touched in different ways. The atmosphere around Vegito began to change, his blue aura growing more intense, more refined. Particles of light orbited his body as his power concentrated, growing denser, more focused. His hair shifted from blue to a deeper royal blue with hints of purple. His eyes took on a silvery gleam. "What is this, Zamasu?" demanded, pausing his assault on Beerus. "What new mortal blasphemy is this?" Beerus looked on with genuine amazement. He found it the true evolution of divine Ki. Not just godly power, but perfectly controlled godly power. Whis nodded. Super Saiyan Blue perfected. No energy wasted. Complete Ki control. Fascinating. Vegito opened his eyes, fixing his gaze on both Zamasu and Black. His voice, when he spoke, carried a harmonic quality, as if Goku and Vegeta spoke in perfect unison through him. This is what happens when two Saiyans who have both touched divinity in different ways unite completely. This is power born of both ritual and pride of innocence and determination. Before either opponent could react, Vegito moved with speed beyond comprehension, appearing between Zamasu and Black. The technique was neither instant transmission nor mere velocity, but something new, a movement through reality itself. What followed was unlike any battle witnessed in any timeline. Vegito attacked with techniques that combined and transcended those of his component parts. His cosmic Kamehameha tore through reality itself, while his divine final flash shattered dimensions. Black found himself completely outmatched, even his rosé form inadequate against Vegito's perfected divine Ki. Each exchange pushed Black further toward defeat, his borrowed power proving insufficient. "No," Zamasu cried, witnessing his ally faltering. "This cannot be. Mortal power cannot surpass divine judgment." In desperation, Zamasu abandoned his battle with Beerus, rushing to Black's side. "I did not wish to reveal this so soon, but you leave me no choice." To everyone's surprise, Zamasu removed his Potara earrings, handing one to Black. "Our fusion will create a being beyond even your understanding, Vegito, a truly immortal fusion of divine and mortal perfection." Beerus moved to intervene, but too late. Black and Zamasu placed the earrings on opposite ears, and in a blinding flash merged into a single entity. Fused Zamasu, a being of horrifying power with one half of his body, Goku Black, and the other Zamasu, yet perfectly integrated. The newly formed Zamasu radiated power that distorted reality around him. His smile reflected madness and divine purpose in equal measure. "How ironic," he said, his voice echoing with dual tones. "That I would use the very technique that created you, Vegito, to bring about your destruction. Mortal and God united in perfect harmony to cleanse creation of its imperfections." Vegito faced this new threat without fear. "Two can play at that game. The difference is my fusion was born of protection, yours of destruction. Let's see which purpose proves stronger." The battle resumed with even greater intensity, the two fused beings unleashing attacks that tore at the fabric of reality. Each blow created shockwaves that rippled across the solar system. Nearby planets shifted in their orbits as gravitational forces were disrupted by their power. Beerus, Champa, Whis, and Vados created a barrier around Earth, protecting it from the worst of the collateral damage, but even they struggled against the cosmic forces being unleashed. On the lookout, the Z fighters watched in awe and terror as the sky itself seemed to catch fire, multi-hued energies cascading across the heavens. Piccolo shielded his eyes. "This is beyond anything I imagined possible. Powers that rival the creation of the universe itself?" Despite Vegito's incredible new form, the battle remained dangerously balanced. Fusamasa's immortality meant that even devastating attacks that would destroy any other being merely slowed him temporarily. After what seemed like hours of reality-shattering combat, Vegito began to show signs of strain. His perfect form required intense concentration, and even with his permanent fusion, the energy demands were enormous. Sensing weakness, Fused Zamasu pressed his advantage. "Your power, though impressive, remains mortal at its core. It can be exhausted. Mine is eternal, divine, infinite." A particularly devastating attack sent Vegito crashing through the moon, shattering it into fragments before he could arrest his momentum. As he recovered, Zamasu appeared before him, hand outstretched, energy gathering for a killing blow. The end of the mortal aberration, Zamasu declared. Before the attack could land, a purple energy sphere intercepted it, disintegrating Zamasu's arm entirely. Beerus had joined the fight directly, his normally casual demeanor replaced with deadly seriousness. Enough of this farce, Beerus declared. You speak of divine order while creating chaos. You claim to serve justice while committing cosmic crime. As god of destruction, I judge you unworthy of existence. Beerus unleashed his full power, a purple aura of destruction energy enveloping him entirely. With methodical precision, he began to systematically destroy Zamasu piece by piece using his innate destruction ability. Yet, to everyone's horror, each destroyed piece of Zamasu regenerated almost immediately, his immortality negating even Beerus' divine destruction. This can't be, Beerus said, disbelief evident in his voice. My power should overcome any immortality. Zamasu laughed, a sound that echoed across dimensions. Your destruction power against true immortality. An immovable object meets an unstoppable force, but I have transcended even those limitations. Destroyer? With a gesture, Zamasu created a scythe of pure energy slashing at reality itself. A tear formed in space and time, a window into the time stream itself. Behold my true plan, not merely to destroy mortals, but to become one with reality itself, to rewrite creation in my image. Vegito and Beerus attacked simultaneously, their combined power momentarily driving Zamasu back from the dimensional tier, but the corrupt deity merely laughed again. Too late. The process has begun. My essence spreads across the timeline like a purifying fire. Indeed, the tier in reality was growing tendrils of Zamasus energy, spreading through it, infecting the time stream itself. Wherever they touched, reality seemed to warp and distort. Whis appeared beside them, his expression grim. He seeks to merge with time itself to become reality. If he succeeds, no power in any universe will be able to oppose him. Beerus launched another attack, this one with his full power as a destroyer. The purple energy engulfed Zamasu completely for a moment. It seemed to be working, the corrupt fusion beginning to disintegrate. Then, without warning, Zamasu counterattacked his energy scythe, slicing through Beerus' defenses, cutting deep into the destroyer's chest. Beerus fell back, blood of a god streaming from a wound that should have been impossible to inflict. Vegito caught the falling destroyer, lowering him to the remains of the moon. The wounded god looked up at Vegito with an expression of grudging respect. It seems I was wrong about you, Fusion Warrior. You may indeed be necessary for what's coming. Don't waste this chance. Whis appeared, taking charge of his injured god, while Vegito turned back to face Zamasu. The corrupted fusion was now partially merged with the time stream, his form becoming increasingly distorted, more abstract as he spread his essence across reality. Your god has fallen, Zamasu taunted, and soon you will join him. Your permanent fusion is nothing compared to my eternal existence across all timelines, all realities. Vegito gathered his remaining strength. No matter what form you take, no matter how far you spread your corruption, I will find a way to stop you. That's the thing about mortals. Zamasu, we never give up, no matter the odds. With a primal cry, Vegito pushed his perfected form even further, his aura taking on aspects of something even more advanced. Hints of silver began to appear at the edges of his blue aura, his movements becoming more fluid, more instinctual. Is that Whis gasped from where he tended to Beerus? Autonomous Ultra Instinct? Impossible for a mortal to achieve so quickly. Vegito launched himself at the partially merged Zamasu, their collision creating a blast that temporarily blinded all observers. When visibility returned, they were locked in combat at the edge of the tier. In reality, Vegito's new power seemingly able to harm even Zamasu's immortal form. For the first time, uncertainty flashed across Zamasu's face. What is this? This cannot be. No mortal can touch a god who has merged with time itself. Vegito pressed his advantage. I'm not just any mortal, I'm the answer to your corruption. The fusion of two warriors who have saved the universe time and again. And now we're gonna save it from you. With a final devastating combination attack, Vegito pushed Zamasu fully into the time tier, separating him from our reality. The dimensional rift began to close, Zamasu's influence temporarily contained. As Vegito fell back, exhausted, the barrier holding Earth safe dissolved. He had won, but at tremendous cost. Beerus lay severely wounded, a god of destruction brought low. The time tier, while sealed for now, showed signs of instability. Whis approached Vegito. You have contained him for now, but not destroyed him. Zamasu continues to spread through the time stream. This battle is far from over. Vegito nodded grimly. Then, well, be ready when he returns. Whatever it takes, The aftermath of the battle with Zamasu transformed the cosmic landscape forever, with Beerus severely wounded, and the Time Tier a constant reminder of the threat still lurking beyond reality. Earth found itself in an unprecedented position. For the first time in countless millennia, the god of destruction required healing and rest, a process that would take years, even for a divine being. In Beerus' absence, Whis made an unexpected decision. He approached VEGITO as the wounded destroyer was being tended to by the Supreme Kai. "Your power and potential are unlike anything I've witnessed," an immortal Whis said, his typical playful demeanor replaced with solemn purpose. "With Lord Beerus incapacitated and Zamasu still a threat, the universe requires protection. I would like to offer you something no mortal has received before formal training as a destroyer candidate." VEGITO looked shocked. "A destroyer? That's not exactly my style. I protect life, not end it." Whis bowed slightly. Destruction and creation are two sides of the same coin. VEGITO, one cannot exist without the other. What you would be learning is not merely how to destroy, but how to maintain balance. The techniques I would teach you would help you master that divine power you started to tap into during your battle. After careful consideration, VEGITO agreed, but with conditions. He would train with Whis, but would not abandon his responsibilities to Earth or his family. He would learn the techniques of the gods, but would use them according to his own moral compass. Thus began a new era for Earth in Universe 7. VEGITO divided his time between his family on Earth and training with Whis on Beerus' planet. Under the angel's tutelage, VEGITO began to master divine techniques that neither Goku nor Vegeta could have achieved separately. The most significant breakthrough came 6 months after the battle with Zamasu. Whis had been pushing VEGITO to achieve a state beyond even his perfected blue form. "Your body contains the potential for Ultra Instinct," Whis explained. "Goku touched this power briefly in other timelines but could never maintain it. Vegeta approached it through his own path of self-mastery. Together within you, these experiences create a unique opportunity." Day after day, VEGITO trained, pushing against his limits, striving to reach the state Whis described. The angel proved an even more demanding teacher than he had been for Goku and Vegeta separately. "You must let go of thought itself," Whis instructed as VEGITO attempted to dodge attacks with his eyes closed. Both Goku and Vegeta approached this from different angles. Goku through emptying his mind, Vegeta through perfect self-control. You must find the middle path where both approaches meet. The breakthrough came unexpectedly during a particularly intense training session. Whis had increased gravity to levels that would crush ordinary planets while simultaneously attacking from multiple angles using speed beyond comprehension. Pushed beyond his limits, something clicked within VEGITO's consciousness. The fierce determination of Vegeta merged perfectly with Goku's intuitive battle instinct. His hair shifted to a brilliant silver, his body moving without conscious thought, perfect in every motion. Ultra Instinct Whis breathed his expression one of genuine awe, and not merely the sign or a temporary glimpse, but the completed form. Unlike Goku, who could maintain the form for only minutes before his body gave out, VEGITO's permanent fusion provided the perfect vessel for this divine state. His body, the ultimate fusion of Saiyan potential, could channel the power indefinitely without breaking down. Word of VEGITO's achievements spread quickly across the cosmos. On Earth, the Z-Fighters received the news with mixed emotions, pride in their friend's accomplishment, but also concern about what it meant for their world. "He's becoming something beyond any of us," Piccolo commented as they gathered at Capsule Corporation. "Not just a warrior anymore, but something approaching a god." Gohan nodded thoughtfully, "Yet he remains connected to us. That may be what's most remarkable, where others might have been corrupted by such power. Father, I mean, VEGITO still puts family first." Indeed, despite his growing divine power, VEGITO maintained his connections to Earth. He continued training his sons, established regular sparring sessions with the other Z-Fighters, and made time for both Bulma and Chi-Chi. The unusual family arrangement had stabilized into something functional, if unconventional. The most surprising development came from the children. Gohan, motivated by VEGITO's example, threw himself into training with renewed purpose. Under the Fusion Warrior's guidance, Gohan achieved a new transformation, one that combined his mystic form with aspects of divine Kido, a power unique to him alone. "It's not Ultra Instinct," VEGITO explained as Gohan demonstrated his new silver-tinged aura. "It's something purely your own, a human Saiyan hybrid channel for divine energy. You've created your own path to godhood, Gohan." Goten and Trunks too flourished under VEGITO's mentorship. Their Gotenks fusion achieved power far beyond what had been possible in the original timeline. By their 15th birthdays, both boys had mastered Super Saiyan Blue, a feat that had taken their fathers decades to achieve. "They make me proud," VEGITO commented to Piccolo as they watched the boys train. "All three of them. They carry the best of both Goku and Vegeta, but are becoming something greater than either could have imagined." As Earth prospered under Vegito's protection, the cosmic landscape continued to shift in response to the new power balance. With Beerus still recovering, and Vegito acting as an unofficial protector universe, 7 entered a period of unprecedented peace and stability. Yet the time tier remained a constant reminder of the threat still looming. Though sealed, the dimensional rift occasionally pulsed with malevolent energy signs that Zamasu continued his efforts to break back into their reality. 1 year after the Battle Whis arrived on Earth with grave news, Lord Zeno the Omcha King wishes to meet with Vegito immediately. The time-space disturbances have caught his attention. The summons to Zeno's palace filled even Vegito with apprehension. The childlike ruler of all existence was known for his unpredictability and absolute power. A being who could erase entire universes with a thought was not one to be taken lightly. Upon arriving in Zeno's throne room, Vegito was surprised to find not only the Omcha King but also the Grand Priest and representatives from all 12 universes. The gravity of the situation became immediately clear. "So you're the fusion that won't come apart?" Zeno said, examining Vegito with childlike curiosity. "You're the one who pushed Zamasu into the time rift." The Grand Priest stepped forward. "What Lord Zeno means to say is that your actions, while necessary, have created a complex situation. Zamasu continues to infect the time stream. Left unchecked, he will eventually break free and threaten all existence." "What can be done?" Vegito asked. The Grand Priest gestured, and a visual representation of the multiverse appeared before them, countless timelines stretching across infinite possibilities. Several of these lines glowed, an ominous purple Zamasu corruption spreading through them. "We had considered erasing these timelines entirely," the Grand Priest explained, "but that would mean the loss of countless innocent lives. Lord Zeno believes there may be another solution." The childlike deity clapped his hands excitedly. "A tournament? A big tournament with the strongest fighters from all universes?" The Grand Priest nodded. "The Tournament of Power. Originally scheduled for several years from now, but recent events have accelerated our timeline. The combined energy of the multiverse's greatest warriors might create a force capable of purifying the time stream without destroying it." "And if it doesn't work," Vegito asked warily, "then the corrupted universes will be erased," the Grand Priest replied, his tone matter of fact. Thus, preparations began for the Tournament of Power years ahead of its original schedule. Vegito returned to Earth with the news: a tournament to decide the fate of corrupted timelines, including potentially their own. The announcement spurred Earth's warriors to new heights of training. Vegito, gathering the strongest fighters, began preparations immediately. Gohan, Piccolo, Android 17, Android 18, Krillin Teen, Master Roshi, even Frieza temporarily revived from Hell. Each was chosen for their unique abilities and fighting styles. In the months leading up to the tournament, Vegito visited each of the other universes, scouting potential competition. His journey revealed fascinating differences between timelines. In Universe 6, he met Caulifla and Kale, female Saiyans, who showed remarkable potential. In Universe 11, he encountered Jiren, a fighter of such tremendous power that even Vegito recognized him as a worthy opponent. Most intriguing was his discovery that, in some universes, Goku and Vegeta existed as separate individuals, never having formed a permanent fusion. These alternate versions looked upon Vegito with curiosity and some suspicion, a living example of a path their lives might have taken. "They seem so incomplete separately," Vegito commented to Whis after meeting Universe 6's Goku and Vegeta. "Like two halves, missing their whole." Whis smiled enigmatically. "Yet in most timelines, they remain separate entities. Perhaps it is you who represents the anomaly, Vegito, not them." This observation gave Vegito pause, causing him to reflect on the nature of his existence. Was he truly meant to be, or was his permanent fusion an error in the cosmic plan? The Tournament of Power itself proved even more spectacular than in the original timeline. With Vegito leading Universe 7, the power dynamics shifted dramatically. His Ultra Instinct form allowed him to battle even Jiren on equal footing, a fight that shook the world of Void to its foundations. Yet, the most significant moment came near the tournament's conclusion. As Universe 7 and Universe 11 faced off for final victory, the time tier suddenly expanded. From within the rift, Zamasu's corrupted form emerged, partially merged with the time stream itself, his malevolent presence threatening to consume the entire world of Void. "Now I understand the true purpose of this gathering," Zamasu declared, his voice distorted, echoing across dimensions. "So much divine energy in one place. The perfect catalyst for my return." As horror spread through the assembled gods and fighters, Vegito stepped forward. "This ends now, Zamasu. Your corruption stops here." Working together with Jiren and fighters from all remaining universes, Vegito launched a coordinated assault against the emerging threat. The combined might of the multiverse's strongest warriors proved enough to drive Zamasu back, but not to destroy him completely. In the battle's aftermath, Zeno made his decision. Rather than erasing the corrupted timelines, he would restore the timeline walls, strengthening them against Zamasu's influence. The Tournament of Power had proven that mortals deserved the chance to determine their own fate. Upon returning to Earth, VEGITO found himself regarded with new respect, not just by the people of his world, but by gods across the multiverse. His actions had saved countless lives and established a new cosmic order, one where mortals and gods worked in greater harmony. With Beerus finally recovered enough to resume limited duties, Universe 7 entered a new phase. VEGITO established a formal training program for Earth's defenders, passing on the techniques he'd learned from Whis. Under his guidance, Earth became known across the multiverse as the home of warriors who had transcended mortal limitations. 5 years after the permanent fusion, the Son Vegeta family had established a new normal. Bulma and Chi-Chi had developed a friendship built on their shared circumstances. Gohan had become a scholar warrior, balancing his intellectual pursuits with his role as Earth's second defender. Goten and Trunks, now inseparable, trained, constantly preparing to one day take up the mantle of Earth's protection. VEGITO himself had found peace with his unique existence. No longer torn between Goku and Vegeta, he had forged an identity entirely his own. He was neither of his component parts, but something new, something necessary for the challenges that had faced their world. And yet the time tier remained a scar in reality itself. Though contained and weakened, Zamasu's presence continued to lurk beyond the boundaries of their universe, a threat diminished but not eliminated. Some nights, Vegeta would float in the upper atmosphere, gazing at the stars in the barely visible rift in space-time. He knew that Zamasu would return one day, that the cycle of threat and defense would continue, but he also knew that whatever came, Earth and the universe would be ready because of the choice made years ago when two warriors became one for eternity. In the 10 years since VEGITO's fusion became permanent, the question persisted not just in his mind, but in the minds of everyone who knew him. Was he truly his own person, or merely the sum of two warriors who once existed separately? As VEGITO meditated atop Mount Paozu, he contemplated this question in ways that neither Goku nor Vegeta could have individually. The nature of identity itself is transformation. He thought, watching clouds drift across the sky. Goku had once been Kakarot, a Saiyan infant sent to destroy Earth, who through circumstance and a head injury became its greatest defender. Vegeta had been a prince consumed by pride, who through defeat and family found purpose beyond conquest. Neither had remained static throughout their lives. Both had evolved dramatically from who they once were. In this light, VEGITO represented not an ending of two beings, but the next evolution in their shared journey. The permanence of his fusion hadn't erased Goku and Vegeta, but provided the vessel for their ultimate potential, the perfect synthesis of their complementary strengths and the transcendence of their individual weaknesses. He smiled, remembering how Supreme Kai had once tried to explain it. "Think of it like water," he had said. "Hydrogen and oxygen exist as separate elements, but when combined, they create something with entirely new properties. Water is neither hydrogen nor oxygen, yet contains both. You are the water, VEGITO, not just hydrogen and oxygen coexisting." The greatest evidence of this truth came in the reactions of those closest to him. Bulma and Chi-Chi, who initially mourned the loss of their husbands, now saw him as someone distinct, someone who honored the men they had loved while being uniquely himself. His sons, too, had come to know him as a father in his own right, not merely an amalgamation of two fathers. Yet, the most profound recognition came from Beerus. The destroyer, fully recovered, now had observed VEGITO with growing respect over the years. "You know," he had said during a rare moment of candor, "I have known countless Saiyans across multiple timelines. Goku and Vegeta always stood out among them, but they were incomplete. Goku lacked the strategic mind and pride that drove true greatness. Vegeta lacked the pure heart and intuitive genius that allowed for limitless growth. In you I see what the Saiyan race could have become had fate been kinder to them." VEGITO had pondered the nature of the sacrifice that created him. Two lives, two identities surrendered to create something new. In most timelines, this sacrifice had been temporary, Goku and Vegeta separating to return to their individual lives. But in this reality, the sacrifice had been permanent and absolute. Was it worth it? He often wondered, would Goku and Vegeta, if given the choice, have chosen this path? The answer came not through abstract philosophy, but through the tangible results of their union. Earth had never known such peace and prosperity. The sons of both warriors had flourished under VEGITO's guidance, achieving heights impossible in the original timeline. Threats that would have devastated the universe had been averted or overcome through the power only their permanent fusion could achieve. Most telling was that in the few instances where VEGITO had encountered his component parts from other timelines, neither Goku nor Vegeta had expressed pity for his state. Instead, there had been curiosity, even envy at the perfect balance and power he'd achieved. "Whenever I see you fight, I'd swear I'm watching a dance," Universe 6's Goku had commented during the Tournament of Power. Every movement so precise yet so natural, like you've discovered the answer to something we've been searching for our whole lives. Perhaps most profound was how Vegito's existence had transformed the relationship between mortals and gods. In the original timeline, mortals had gradually approached divine power, but always remained clearly subordinate to the cosmic hierarchy. Vegito's permanent fusion had accelerated this evolution, forcing the gods to acknowledge that the line between mortal and divine was far more permeable than they believed. This revelation led to sweeping changes across the multiverse. The Grand Priest instituted new policies allowing exceptional mortals limited access to divine training. Destroyer candidates were selected from multiple races, not just those traditionally considered for the role. A new balance emerged with mortals and gods working in greater harmony and mutual respect. 10 years to the day after the fusion, Vegito stood atop the lookout, gazing across the world he had protected. Dende approached tentatively, still somewhat in awe of the being Vegito had become. "Do you ever regret it?" the young guardian asked. "The permanence of your fusion? The loss of your individual lives?" Vegito considered the question carefully. "There are moments when I wonder what might have been, what lives Goku and Vegeta might have led separately, what different choices they might have made." He paused, looking up at the stars now appearing in the twilight sky, but then I remember that neither of them ever feared transformation. Goku embraced every new challenge, every new level of power with infectious enthusiasm. Vegeta relentlessly pursued evolution, no matter the cost to his pride or body. Both understood that to remain static is to die, that life itself is constant change and growth. In choosing to accept this permanent fusion to become something beyond their individual selves, they honored the core of who they always were, warriors who refused to accept limitations. In that sense, I am the truest expression of both their spirits, not their ending, but their ultimate evolution. Perhaps most remarkable was how one single altered moment, one fusion that refused to separate, had cascaded into changes that transformed not just Earth, but the entire multiverse. The ripples of that moment continued to spread across reality itself, changing the trajectory of countless lives across countless worlds. Vegito smiled, sensing Gohan, Goten, and Trunks approaching for their evening training session. This was his legacy, not just the power he wielded or the threats he had overcome, but the new generation he had helped shape, warriors who carried forward the best of Goku and Vegeta while charting their own unique paths. In the original timeline, Goku and Vegeta had saved the universe countless times as individuals. In this timeline, their permanent union had not only preserved creation, but elevated it, creating opportunities for growth and evolution that would continue long after even Vegeta was gone. The fusion that was meant to last an hour instead lasted an eternity, and in that eternity, existence itself was forever changed. Some would say improved by the union of two warriors who separately were extraordinary but together became truly divine. As the stars appeared in full, Vegito allowed himself one final thought. In the endless web of timelines and multiverses, their path was unique, a road not taken in any other reality. Yet in its uniqueness, it possessed a perfect symmetry, a harmony of purpose and power that fulfilled the ultimate destiny of both Goku and Vegeta in ways neither could have imagined alone. And in that perfect balance between determination and joy, pride and compassion, strength and wisdom, Vegito found not just purpose, but true peace. Not the end of a journey, but the beginning of something even greater.